Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nate and I've got a book haul for you today. This is my Q1 2025 book haul. I'm going to hopefully do 4 of these throughout the year. I am on a bit of a book buying restriction, we'll say, throughout 2025. It's not necessarily a ban, but I am really trying to tighten up on what I buy. My book collection really boomed in 2022 and 2023 and I don't really have the space for that. 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024. And yeah, I don't really have the space for that anymore. And so I really want to be a bit more selective in what I'm buying and really be reading down my shelves. Saying that, I do have 28 books here. So it doesn't seem like I am, but I think I am. I feel like I am. I think for the first 2.5 months of the year, I was really good. And then my birthday was the 1st of April. And so towards the end of March, I was kind of getting into that, I want to treat myself mindset. And so I did buy quite a few books towards the end of March, but I am anticipating only really having one potential birthday spend in April, and then otherwise for the next 3 months, it's going to be pretty, again, tight up. So I think my second book haul potentially isn't going to have as many. As far as my book restriction goes, basically my plan is to only really buy a few certain books from different categories, one being new books in series that I'm anticipating or from authors, books that I'm anticipating usually in a series. There are 2 of those in here and I have in my head 2 I think for the rest of the year, maybe more, but that are coming out that I'm anticipating. Other than that, it's pretty much special editions that I'm kind of really into. I currently am a subscriber to the Broken Binding. I get their tier 2 fantasy sub, so I will get those every month, and then it's just kind of special editions of books that I'm interested in. So yeah, kind of really trying to be though more selective and not just throw my money at a load of book boxes and random hauls. But yeah, I have 28 here though, so that is still quite large, but not as large as I think I have in the past. Like I said, it was my birthday in the 1st of April, so the end of March was a bit more of a happy spending because I was just in that birthday mood. So yeah, let's jump in. I'm gonna start with the manga because I only have 6 volumes. Every time I go to a Forbidden Planet, which is a UK cult comic store, I will buy manga there because Viz Manga, which is a publication, usually they are 3 for 2, so that's just a very good deal. They've gone up now. I think the manga prices are now £8.99 in the UK, which is ridiculous. When I first bought them, I think they were £5.99. I mean, that was geez, 20 years ago. Okay, so maybe that's just inflation. So if I can get 3 for 2, I'm going to. So yeah, I picked up the next 3 volumes I need of the One Piece series. So that is volumes 105, 106, and 107. I really need to get back into this series because I'm at volume 70. I'm basically at the time skip. I haven't read anything past the time skip, so I really need to actually jump on, but I just pick these up whenever there's a good chunk of them out. I think I'm up to date. There might be more after this, but yeah, the next 3 volumes in the One Piece series. And then a similar series I picked up 3 random volumes in the My Hero series, so volume 32 and then 39 and 40. I think I have all of them. If I don't, I'm missing the odd 1 or 2 here. This is a completed series now though, so soon I will be able to get all of them. I haven't read anything in this series in a while, so I do need to jump back into this, but I do know how it ended. I'm quite bad in series that especially this one, I've done it in others as well, I will catch up on the weekly manga releases, but then I hate reading things weekly because I just very much lose interest. It's they're 20 pages a week, and so then I would just kind of keep up in the spoilers of what's happening. So I know how the series ended, but I haven't read the whole of the ending of the series, so I will jump into that at some point. But yeah, just got those volumes to kind of pick up. I went to the Forbidden Planet in Bristol. It had a fire, I think, at the end of last year, and so it was closed, so this was the first time it was opened. I actually went to IKEA and got a new Billy bookshelf, which is over here. I'm hoping to do a bookshelf tour soon, so you'll be able to see it. It's a dedicated hardcover shelf, and it is beautiful. So I will show you guys in a future video. But yeah, I went to this IKEA in Bristol. We went to the Forbidden Planet and also went to another Bristol bookshop while I was there actually. So I might as well haul those books next. There is a bookshop called, I think it's called The Last Bookshop, that is in Bristol, that is basically has newer books. They're all £5 or less. And so I picked up Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I've listened to this trilogy on audiobook and I really enjoyed it. So I have the other 2 in the series, but didn't have this one, and I will at some point want to reread it. So I picked up the 2nd one to reread, but that's nice that it's not actually having to the TBR, so this is not going to the TBR. And then I did buy one rogue book called The Witchery, just because I really liked the cover art mainly. I'm assuming it's YA. It's a spellbinding story brimming with magic, intrigue, and empowering female friendships. It sounds like something I'm gonna love. So yeah, I picked that up because mainly for the cover art, but it did sound interesting as well. So yeah, YA witchy book sounds cool. So yeah, I picked that up also in that shop. And that was my Bristol haul. Then I did do a little bit of book shopping just before my birthday. My sister came up to visit and I went to pick her up. And as we were walking back, we went through town, we stopped in Waterstones and we stopped in the Works and I bought some books. So in Waterstones, I picked up Stag Dance. This is by by, I want to say Tori Peters, and it sounds really interesting. As visions of trans life, past, present, and future collide in this irresistible follow-up hit novel to Detransition Baby, which I've not read, but this one I thought sounded really interesting. Oh god, it's a short story collection. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that it was a short story collection, which, I'll be honest, historically have not been my favourites, so maybe I should have actually read that. But I'm interested to read regardless. In this quartet of tales, Tori Peters' keen eye for the rough edges of desire reveals fresh possibilities. Acidically funny, boldly intervening and breathtaking in scope, stag dance provokes and unsettles, inspires and delights. Yeah, and it's also signed by the author. I don't know, I did not read that it was short stories, so we'll see what I think about it, but I'm interested to read it anyway. In the works, I picked up Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I've heard really good things about this author, so specifically I think like her book The Bodyguard, but I've not read it. I am still dipping my toes in and out in terms of romance, trying to really find authors that I enjoy romance-wise, so I thought I would give Catherine Center a try, and it was £2 in the works. It is about a young woman who develops face blindness, so she can still see, but every face basically just looks like a jumbled mess, so she doesn't recognize people, so she's struggling to hang on to her artistic dreams, working through major family issues, and then taking care of her beloved pet. She falls in love, but not with a man, but two, and the timings couldn't be worse. I thought for £2 I'd give it a go. And then I picked up these two books, which one I'm in the middle of, they are part of a series called The Princess Swap. They are in the middle grade section by Kim Bussin. So there is, basically the idea is they are Disney princess retellings where the princesses like swap places. So the first one is Cinderella and Belle, and it is like Cinderella and the Beast and Beauty and the Glass Slipper. And I basically bought them as cover buys. So this is like the artwork for the first one. I thought they were really gorgeous. I said that really weird. And then the second one is Snow White and the Dragon and Sleeping Beauty and the Seven Dwarfs. I haven't taken the sticker off yet, but this is what the artwork looks for. I was drawn to the artwork for both of these, which is why I picked them up. And yeah, middle grade Disney princess retellings. Like I said, I'm about 34 pages into this one. So far it's fine, but yeah, it was an artwork buy, which is something I need to start doing more, is actually looking up the illustrators and like finding them on socials, because I a lot of the time buy books based on the cover art, and so I really should seek those artists out. I do draw, not as much as I wish I did, but like, and so finding artwork that I really like I would love to do illustrations for book covers, so like I really should find other people that have done that and like look out their work and stuff. But yeah, I thought these were really gorgeous, and yeah, they were £5 each from the works. So those were kind of my rogue book buys, and I have got 3 books here, which is a complete series that I got from my mother for my birthday. I technically opened them early because I was seeing her a bit early, and she went basically through one of my old Amazon wish lists that I sent her from a birthday bygone and picked up a series on that, and that is the Kingdom of the Wicked series. So Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Cursed, and Kingdom of the Feared. Look at that, how disgusting is that lineup? They ended up changing the imprint or something, but yeah, anyway. I had put this on my wish list ages ago because I'd heard like buzz about it. I believe it's about sisters. Yeah, and I think one of them dies. Does she die? Yeah, it's about twins as well. I'm a twin. I mention this a lot in my videos actually because I really like reading books about twins. But the idea of her twin sister dying is devastating to me, so I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy reading that. But I think I've heard good things about this because I know it also has I believe a duology sequel that people also enjoy. But yeah, thought I'd give it a go. I think it's YA, fantasy, romance, or romantasy. I'm not sure where it blends, but that's the whole series though. So that is like a rogue one, but that wasn't on me. That was on like my mum. And I think that's the only present I actually got book-wise for my birthday because I didn't ask for any because I am trying to be a bit more reserved. Now we'll get into like the planned book buys for the year. So 2 books that I knew that would be coming out that were like new releases that I would be buying. First up is of course Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I actually picked this up from Sainsbury's. I think it was like an extra week before it was released in Sainsbury's, but it was there. So I managed to get it because it was like £10, I think. I have yet to start reading it. I did do a reread of the first 2 in the Hunger Games trilogy. I haven't actually read the 3rd one yet. I need to reread that. But like, it was the first time I reread them in ages, and I'm really, really glad I did. I really enjoyed them. Although Catching Fire does go into detail about the kind of material in this, which I kind of forgotten. Obviously, you know Haymitch wins. He is alive, so he wins. But like, and I kind of vaguely remembered a girl being involved, but I couldn't quite remember the specifics. So it does detail that in Catching Fire. So like, I am now more aware of how that's going to end in this. But I'm still interested in reading it anyway. Like, I'm still like, of how the ins and outs and like how the other members of District 12 get on and whatnot. So yeah, I've heard good buzz as well about this. For the most part, I think most people are really, really enjoying this. So very excited to eventually get onto this. The other new release was The Rag Picker King by Cassandra Clare. This is the follow-up to The Swordcatcher, and this is the Waterstones edition where it has like the flipped colours, so it has like the gold which I own the other one in gold, so I wanted to make sure I got this one as well. Yeah, I haven't read it yet, and I do think I might need to do a little bit of a synopsis recap. I remember the overall big plot points, but I don't remember all of like the ins and outs, but I did quite enjoy the first one. I think the first one is definitely missold as a fantasy romance, when I think the romance is such a small budding element. It is much more of a kind of like slow burn political-esque fantasy, I would say. Even like the fantastical elements are not huge, like the magic isn't very big at the moment in it. I found it really interesting. I did enjoy it, and I do like those slow books where you are just kind of sitting with characters and learning the worlds and learning about like political drama and stuff. But yeah, it kind of in the blurb tried to sell it as a kind of forbidden love element, which very briefly kind of came in towards the end, like such a small part of it. So I definitely would not go into that book thinking there's going to be huge amounts of romance. There are like romantic elements, but such a small element. But I think that's going to develop more in this second book, so I'm interested to see about it. I haven't even read the synopsis because I am just going to eventually get into it and read it, and I am looking forward to it and seeing what happens. So the last 11 books that I have are all special editions, most of them series. So the only one that isn't a series is Blood Over Brighthaven. This is the Broken Binding exclusive edition, and this is a fantasy standalone by the same author that did The Sword of Kaigen, which I've never read, but I've heard really good things about. So when I saw this coming out, and I thought this was beautiful, like beautiful cover, beautiful sprayed edges, I thought I would pick it up. It also sounds really interesting. It sounds like it's a kind of dark academia fantasy, and the fact that it is a like standalone and it's not like absurdly big, I think it's just under 500 pages or something, I think sounds so interesting. And yeah, I've heard good things about this, and if I really like this, I will then go ahead and pick up The Sword of Kaigen. Yeah, it's about a woman that goes and basically wants to become the first woman ever admitted to a prestigious order of mages and unravels a secret conspiracy that could change the practice of magic forever in this standalone dark fantasy from the author of The Sword of Kaigen. I do have a special edition set here that I got from Illumicrate, and that is the Scythe series by Neil Schusterman. So these are like the sprayed edges, which are stunning. But yeah, this is the trilogy series and then like the short story collection, I think it is. So there is Scythe, Thunderhead, The Toll, and then Gleanings, and they are all gorgeous. They all have sprayed editions, they all have like gorgeous inside cover art, lovely foiling on the covers. And I have not read this series, but I've heard really good things about it. My sister has read the series and she really liked it, and I think I've read like the prologue of the first book and I was hooked. The idea of this series is that it is basically humanity has conquered death, and so to kind of combat the ever-growing population that now doesn't die from diseases, these things called scythes, I believe, that are given the job to go around and kill people. So that is like what the series is about. It's a sci-fi futuristic dystopian series, I believe, YA. Yeah, really excited about getting into it eventually, but I thought those editions were absolutely stunning, so like and like it was a series I was anticipating as well, so I was like, I'm just gonna get it. So then the last 6 books that I have are from my current subscription service with Broken Binding, which is the fantasy tier 2 level. I believe they're all adult fantasies. I've not read any of them yet, so I can't tell you anything about how I'm enjoying them, but they basically work through series, which I love, and they are like series that are complete, that are getting like a reprint or like a reprint in hardcover, and I really like that. 2 of them were, I think the 2 of them were from last year, but I'm just going to show them anyway. And it is the Memory, Sorrow and Thorn series, starting with the Dragonbone Chair. This is by Tad Williams, and I believe this came out in like the 80s. God, Tad Williams actually has written a lot of stuff. Yeah, this was originally published in 88, so like a really old fantasy, well, not, I suppose it is actually, yeah, a very old fantasy series. And so like I was really interested when I saw this, so yeah. I've completed my like round with them for like my first series. So it is this one, so the Dragonbone Chair. Book 2, Stone of Farewell, and then book 3 came in 2 books because it is huge. So it is To Green Angel Tower, Siege and Storm. Yeah, and like that's 1 book. So yeah, we got it in 2 parts, thankfully. So yeah, I'm really excited to actually eventually get on and start this series. But that was the first series that I was like as an active subscription for. So then the second series that I'm currently getting it's called the Rook and Rose series, so by M.A. Carrick. So the first one is The Mask of Mirrors, and the second one is The Liar's Knot. And then the third and final one, I'm guessing, comes my March book, which I'm not sure when it's coming. And then I can't remember exactly what the next series is. I'll put the picture up here, but it's one that I've heard of. I think it's someone by Ray, maybe. Again, I haven't started this series yet either. I will at some point, but it has gorgeous inside artwork, and they do also really nice like color art as well on the hard foiling. I've been really liking the editions of those books I've been getting. I just need to now start reading them, but I also think because they are like complete fantasy series, the resellability is there, so that if I don't love a series, I do think I shouldn't have an issue like reselling them. Not necessarily to get my whole money back, because I'm not really ever bothered about that, but like at least to like get something back and then it goes to a home that will be loved. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that with those Broken Binding ones, but I do need to start actually cracking on and reading them. So yes, that was my Q1 book haul for the first 3 months for the year. I don't think it's too bad. I don't anticipating Q2 having such a big haul, although I am at some point going to be going for a 66 books trip, which is like a massive like book warehouse that does sales for like really good discounts. I used to go all the time because I used to live really near there and I haven't been in a while. So yeah, I am doing a cheeky little trip there. I'm going to try and be reserved because I don't always have a load of fantasy stuff. So I usually end up buying like a load of Litflix stuff. But that's the only thing that I'm going to be really actively buying. Other than that, I anticipate my Broken Binding subscription series is continuing. I have just bought a couple of standalones from the Broken Binding, which I cannot remember what they are for the life of me. I have bought the Aragon, actually, Broken Binding set. So there's that. All of that to say, this is the book haul for the first quarter of the year. If you guys have read any of these books, please do let me know. Let me know what you thought about them. That would be fantastic. And I will see you in my next video, hopefully soon. Bye-bye.